biographical film Tetris. I found this one entertaining. I thought it was real good for what it was. And while I didn't know the full story about the video game, I still had a great time watching this one. To be honest, I did hear about this film weeks ago, but I went into this one with low expectations because I really thought this film would have been a little bit boring. But it turned to be one of the most intriguing films of the year so far. So the story is, this is based on true events about the race to license and patent the video game Tetris in the late 1980s during the Cold War. And this movie did a good job of keeping my attention all throughout it. In fact, I even went back to replay Tetris when this movie was over simply because it brought me to my childhood and how much fun I had with that game and how popular this video game has been even decades later. But what made this film real interesting was the mere fact it was a drama. There was a whole lot of interesting arguments when it came to Tetris. There were so many video game references, which led to some highly engaging moments all throughout this movie. At the end of the day though, while this movie isn't perfect, it certainly is one of the most entertaining biographical films I've seen in quite some time. And quite frankly, there is a great story within it as well. Now, I know a lot of people would be saying this movie has a whole lot of lies, but that's the thing with biographical Hollywood films. They're going to have a lot of historical accuracies. In fact, I looked up the 2004 TV documentary Tetris from Russia with Love. And that is the real true story. So why would they make another documentary film where they can make it exciting, interesting? And this movie also reminded me of the 2010 film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, simply because of the video game sounds and the sprites, and how one part in the film there's a car chase, and then they did all that with the video game style. I found that a little odd because it's like the first half of this movie is lighthearted, but then the second half it's like completely like dark. It's a spy thriller. I was like, this is really good. The acting in this was great. Like, seriously, Taron Egerton definitely did an awesome job. He was the best thing about this movie. But that's not to discredit the other actors, like Roger Allam or Anthony Boyle, or even the guy that played Alexei. They all did a good job in this movie. And quite frankly, this is a film that kind of reminded me of how great Tetris was and still is. I remember growing up with this video game. Sure, it was simple. It was just about the shapes, putting them together to get that high score. But it's a game you could spend hours playing. And quite frankly, it's a game that a lot of people still play even decades later. Nonetheless, when it comes down to it, this film kept me engaged. I wasn't bored. And quite frankly, if you haven't seen this one, then definitely check it out because it is well worth the time. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. It's a good thing this wasn't historical accurate, because if it was, I think it would have been quite boring. This is one of those movies you can sit down and have a real good time with. This lighthearted and serious movie, it made the transition pretty smoothly in my opinion. In other words, this one didn't feel like I was watching two completely different movies like a lot of films had done beforehand. And when the movie had gotten to serious moments, it led to some of the most entertaining parts of this film. Just seeing these video game references, like I mentioned beforehand, as a gamer, it just made me appreciate this film even more. Overall though, this is probably one of the better movies to come out so far this year, and it is a thrilling ride from beginning to end. And that is my review of the film Tetris. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section, and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Okay. This is Slim Guy 172 saying, peace out.